Okay, so now let's go over the 7 rules of power. So rule number 1 states, when multiplying, you add the powers. So for example, if you had a to the squared times a cubed, it will give you a to the power of 5. So let me give you a different example. Suppose that I was doing 4 to the power of 2 times 4 to the power of, let's say, so let's go for 3. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the 4, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at the powers, and I'm going to add them together. So 2 plus 3 is equals to 5. And then what I can do is I can do 4 and multiply to itself 5 times. So I'm going to do 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, so I know that 4 times 4 is equals to 16. 16 times 4 is 64. And then I will do 4 times 4, which is equals to 16. Then the last step will be, what is 64 times 16? So 4 times 4 is, so 4 times 6 is 24. So put the 4 down and carry the 2. 6 times 6 is 36. Plus the 2 is 38. Cross out the 2 at the top and put down an imaginary 0. Then you do 1 times 4, which is 4, and then 1 times 6, which is 6. And then you add 384 to 640. So 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. Then 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus that 6 is 10. So that's your final answer. So 4 to the power of 5 is 1024. So let's go over rule number 3. So rule number 3 states, when you divide, you subtract the powers. So a to the power of 5 divided by a to the power of 3 is equals to 2. So let me give you a different example. Let's say I had 7 to the power of 4, and you divide that by 7 to the power of, let's say, 2. So I'm going to write the 7 down as they're both common, and then I'll have a look at the powers. So what is 4 take away 2? It's 2. And 7 squared means multiply 7 to itself twice, and 7 times 7 is 49, and that's your final answer. So rule number 3 states, when raising the power to another, you multiply them, i.e. a squared in a bracket, and that also everything in the bracket you will raise that to the power of 3, gives you a to the power of 6. So let me give you a different example. So let's suppose inside we had 2 squared, and I'm going to put a bracket around it, and I'm going to put the number 3 outside. So what I'm going to do is I want to rewrite that to say 2 to the power of 2 times 3, and I can rewrite that further by saying 2 times 3 is 6. Yep. To work that out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 2 to itself 6 times. So I'm going to do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equals to 8. And and finally you will just do 8 times 8 which is equals to 64. So that means 2 squared to the power of 3 is equals to 64. Okay, so let's go over rule number 4, which states anything to the power of 1 is just itself, i.e. a to the power 1 is equals to a. So let's say that I had 36 to the power of 1, and as the rule states, it's just going to be itself. So 36 to the power of 1 is equals to 36. Okay, and rule number 5 states anything to the power of 0 is just 1, i.e. a to the power of 0 is equals to 1. So let's say I had 7 to the power of 0. That is just going to give me 1. Okay, and rule number 6 states 1 to the power of anything is just 1, i.e. 1 to the power of 23 is equals to 1. So let's say I had 1 to the power of 4 is equals to 1. And the reason why 1 to the power of anything is equals to itself is because if you were to do 1, multiply that to itself 4 times, so 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, that would just give you 1. Okay. And rule number 7 says when you have fractions, apply the power to both the top and the bottom, i.e. a over b to the power of 3 is equals to a over 3 over b over 3. So let's just say that I had 2 to the power 2 over 3, and I'm gonna do that to the power of 2. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do 2 over 3 times 2 over 3.